Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and children. I think there's a few out there. Let's go and fix this. My name is Joanne Stacy, and it's my privilege to welcome you to the Revestoke Rising. Woo! Come on, let's hear it! I can't see you, but I can hear you. So we want you guys to really make a lot of noise when it's appropriate, but when it's not, of course, don't do that. An evening of stories. It's an evening of music, dancing, and monologues. Please take a minute to silence your cell phones and sit back and enjoy the show. That video.
I'm not afraid.
No, not yet. How are you guys doing? Not waking up? I gotta catch my breath after that. So glad to see you all here, clapping your hands, ready to stand up, say no more. Everyone has a story. Some of us use our words, some of us use music, and some let their actions tell their stories. Some people keep their stories to themselves, masking their anger, shame, hurt, and pain with a smile. But tonight, we are here to support and honor those people and those stories, to dedicate an evening to end the violence against women, children, and those at risk in our community and all around the world. To stand up and say no more. You may wonder, what's my story? So I thought I would share a little bit of it with you, in confidence, of course. When I was about 12 years old, I remember learning at school that 1 in 4 girls would suffer some sort of abuse. It didn't take me long to see that out of my friends, and there was 4 of us. The most obvious was the girl that lived across the street from my house. Her father used to drink, lose his temper, and occasionally beat her up, picking her up by her hair, and throwing her around on the front steps. I remember trying to get her to come and stay with us or get some help, but she never would do that. Eventually she got, moved away and made her own life. What I didn't know until many years later was that the other 2 girls that I grew up with were being sexually abused at that time, one by a teacher and one by her father. I was also abused, emotionally and mentally, by my stepmother, until I had a nervous breakdown at the age of 16. So that makes 4 out of 4. So much for that statistic. Gandhi said, "Be the change you want to see in the world." And I think that is why we're all here tonight. To strike, dance, celebrate. If we all stand up, we can be that change. We can make it happen. I believe it. It is now my honor to introduce Nellie Richardson, Audie Brown, and Stephanie Melnick, representing the Revestoke Women's Shelter and the Revestoke Community Response Network.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Nellie Richardson, and I've been the Executive Director of the Revestoke Women's Shelter for the past 10 years. I would like to begin by providing a little background on the Revestoke Women's Shelter Society. We are a non-profit organization providing support and a safe place to women and their children at risk of all forms of abuse. Some of our services that we offer are 24-hour crisis line, temporary housing, individual and group support, advocacy and outreach services, referrals to legal and social agencies, as well as assistance with personal items. The Society also promotes community awareness on violence against women and works with other agencies on prevention strategies. During my 10 years at the shelter, I have kept statistics to see if there were any trends that could help us, assist us in planning. The only thing that these statistics show is that there is no rhyme or reason to when it is busy or when it is quieter. Our shelter is funded for 5 beds, but in truth, we have 10 beds, and we fundraise throughout the year to ensure that no woman or child is ever turned away. We have housed as many as 94 women and 33 children in 1 year. We have dealt with 50 crisis calls in a month, as well as 50 outreach appointments that were not funded to provide. And we have been at capacity or over 105 times in 1 year. Each of these statistics represents someone's mother, wife, sister, daughter, granddaughter, grandmother, aunt, niece, friend, or neighbor. Each of these statistics represents someone in this community that has been impacted by violence. Yes, violence does exist in Revestoke. I feel that this shelter is especially fortunate to have 6 passionate frontline workers who are tenacious in their efforts to ensure that every client is given the support they need to make positive changes in their lives. In the last couple of weeks, a number of people involved in this celebration have said they can't imagine working in an environment, as it must be so stressful listening to all the client stories without being personally affected. Though our work is often heart-wrenching, we also have the privilege of seeing some quite dramatic transformation in the lives of our clients, and we are able to witness despair turn to hope, self-doubt turn into self-reliance. We feel very honored to be part of that process. Now, let's get on with the first Revestoke Rising celebration. Today, we join billions of others around the world to say no to violence. I feel very honored and privileged to be part of this event. I would like to personally thank both Joanne and Joel for suggesting Revestoke host its first ever V-Day event. You have both shared so willingly and have been very instrumental in creating this special night. I hope that each of us leaves the theater this evening feeling that together we can make our community safer and that violence and abuse in any form will not be tolerated. Thank you.
Revestoke Community Response Network. The CRN was established in 2004 by Menta Nicholson with the Revestoke Women's Shelter as the host organization in response to some new legislation called the Adult Guardianship Act. This legislation protects vulnerable adults in BC. Thank you. We work with Community Living BC and with Interior Health. Both agencies are designated as responders by the legislation. And the CRN, excuse me while I lift this up a little bit. The CRN supports the designated agencies by educating and raising awareness that these services are available and accessible. Other organizations that are involved with our local CRN include the Revestoke Senior Center, Revestoke Victim Services, the local RCMP detachment, as well as the mental health support organization, the Revestoke Awareness and Outreach Program. The Revestoke Community Response Network is just one of 70 local CRNs throughout BC. All community response networks across the province are supported by the BC Association of CRNs, and this provincial association provides education and foundational support for us at the local level, as well as provides some funding.
And I'm Stephanie Malnick, also a coordinator with the Community Response Network. The Revestoke CRN has a vision that all vulnerable adults in the community have the right to live in an environment where they are safe and protected against abuse, neglect, and self-neglect. Depending on the circumstances, any one of us can become vulnerable at any time. And it's the CRN's work to support the community in identifying and supporting these at-risk adults. We are excited to announce that we've recently received funding from the Columbia Basin Trust Social Grants to implement a program called the Gatekeeper Program. This program is designed to help citizens identify high-risk adults in the community. People who could be trained to be gatekeepers in Revestoke, could be bank personnel, restaurant personnel, grocery store clerks, basically anyone that comes in contact with our community. It's a great program that connects people with resources they might not otherwise know about.
So the CRN is a non-profit group that relies on grants and donations to complete our work, so we especially want to thank you for your support by attending this event tonight. We also want to thank Melly and the Revestoke Women's Shelter for their continued support as our host organization. We couldn't do it without them. So if you have any questions for the CRN, or if you want to volunteer your time, visit our display table in the lobby at intermission. And last but not least, we hope you appreciate the performances tonight, and we really want to thank you for being here.